Okay, everyone. Nato Namaste. Welcome. Today we are learning what is manifestation, how manifestation work, and what is available on the planet to understand manifestation, how things manifest, how things won't, how should a person be, what should a person do, how should a person think to manifest anything is what we teach. So whatever you learn is going to be very, very, how do I say, practical. We are learning psychology, we are learning spirituality, we are also learning our uh, basic communication to get things done. How should a person be? Okay, this is not a soft skills session, but it's going to look like a soft skills one because the soft skills is not for your external communication but to your internal communication, to the universal communication. Okay, so this is going to be a very, very interesting and different learning. Now let us get into the first aspect of today's session. Okay, how many of you are coming with an open mind, or how many of you have already filled with their information with manifestation? Open mind. Wonderful. Cool. So we have got a foundational rule. Always open mind. Whatever you have, empty your cup. You could have learned from many people, you would have gained a lot from other people. Absolutely respected. But when you're sitting here, come with an open mind so that whatever you learn is not going to, how do I say, whatever you already learned will not interrupt the new learnings. Okay. So no Q&As till ask you to ask the question, and don't ask use cases because this 15 days we talk only about use cases. Where shall we use what? How shall we do for? How should we think for different aspects? Okay. All right. Now let us understand the basic or the king of today's topic is what is manifestation? And for you to manifest, you should have a desire, right? Where is the desire coming from? Whatever you wanted to manifest, it starts with a desire. So we start our entire learnings to understand today's session, the science behind a desire. Okay. So how many of us are really looking to improve your finances? Yeah. Relationships, health. Okay. So whatever three aspects I mentioned, wealth and finances, relationships and health. These are primary. Are they needs or desires? Needs, right? So we have to start from asking why are needs a desire? So yes, we are, everybody, you put it in a right way. Yes, it's a need. But why did a need become a desire? Now, what is desire? Hmm. What is a need and what is a desire? Need is something that there is no choice. It's mandatory or it is primary that you cannot avoid, you cannot skip, you cannot compromise on it. Needs. Desire has choice. Essential for life. Yes. Very, very important. Cannot be ignored, cannot be avoided. Our needs. Now, most of our desires are coming from needs only, right? I need a good job. You need a job, you need a good job. Which means you might have a desire to have a job in a certain company, make a certain kind of money with certain kind of environment. Yes, Jyotika Garu, we are getting close to that. So, basic needs that we all have, they are always there. And how do you get that is immaterial. It's need. You want it's not a desire anymore. It's a necessity. So you just no chahiye hi chahiye. You just want it, no matter what, no compromise. Right? So when you're talking about a need, it is very, very vital that you have a survival mode in your mind. Right? For the survival, what you need food, roti, kapda, makan. These are the basic needs. Now, when these three are fulfilled in my mind, basically, aaj ka roti, aaj ka kapda, aaj ka makan. If we have, what else we need for that day? Aaj ka roti, aaj ka kapda, aaj ka makan. Okay, you have today's food, today's shelter, today's clothing. What else you need more than that for today, for this moment? Okay, happiness is a need. Good. Now let's get one layer by layer. We have certain things in our life and we need certain things in life. We have our needs already met. Do we need anything more than that for that moment? No, right? Perfect. That's where we start. For you to have a desire, you should always feel, or you should always have this thought that, okay, I have whatever I have and my needs are met. When your needs are met, then you can think of a desire. Now, desire comes, which is over the survival. You know you're surviving with whosoever you are, with whatsoever you are, right? You're surviving at the moment. When your mind is more than survival, that's when you can focus on a desire. That's when manifestation works. Now, this might sound demotivating or disappointing, but if you go a little deep, or if you dig deeper into a certain time in life where people had nothing in their lives, they had to wait for some charity for their food. I'm talking about that level of poverty. They might be owners of a land, huge piece of land, but still they don't have active income. Okay, they have to wait for money to come. Yes, if money comes, it comes in bounty, but they don't have any money at this point of time. Now, what happens? Their primary desire would be aaj ka roti, right? So their mind is occupied to survival. Need. This is where our entire learning starts. Whenever you have a desire, desire should not become a necessity. Okay, you all can note this point. Okay, desire should not be a necessity. Lot of people say, I need to have iPhone 15. No, iPhone 17 right now, sorry. Okay. When you say I need to have iPhone 15, when you say I need to have this, I need to have that, which is actually not necessary. You are creating a false hope in your mind. You are creating something very, very, um, you are creating a premise in your mind that is coming from a pure lack. Very, very important because every desire has got a space of origin. If your desire is coming from space of lack, then desire's fulfillment or non-fulfillment is only serve the lack in your life. First fundamental rule is understanding if your desire is a need or a desire. First. Next is where is it coming from? Is it coming from the space of lack or is it coming from the space of abundance? Now, when it is coming from space of lack, now let us understand what is space of lack. When the need for money is coming from lack of having money, is not having money. Why do you want money? Is because I don't have money. Why do you want peace? Because I don't have peace. Why do I want the relationship? Is because I don't have the relationship. So, if your need for it is coming from that lack, that is when you need to experience, you need to have a different kind of approach towards life. That's why you have to start to change your attitude, change your perspective, and there's a lot of things should start. Okay. Now, as we get into the understanding of the space of abundance, space of lack, the desire is coming from the space of lack, that if you achieve whatever you lacked, your state of lackness will not change. The space of lack is filled with something else, but because you're operating in space of lack, even though you achieve, you still feel something is missing. How many of you felt you are looking for purchase of a certain thing, you purchase it and you still felt, I kuch aur, it's not sufficient. You want more, something more. For example, I mean, it could be a bad example of stereotyping. Lot of women say, जितने भी अच्छे कपड़े रहने दो, I don't have anything to wear. Right? Right? Wardrobe will be, every festival, three sarees. And you still feel something is missing. Right? It happens, no? Even if you look at Netflix, I have nothing to watch. There are thousands of shows on Netflix, but we still feel I have got nothing to watch. Now, when you say this, what is happening? You're feeding your lack only, no? You're seeing so many clothes in front of you, but you say, I have got nothing to wear. You're confusing your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind cannot analyze what you meant by I don't have anything to wear. I don't have anything new that nobody have seen already to wear. So, even though you buy a new sari afterwards, what happens again? It goes into the same space. You got 30 saris, it becomes 31 saris, and you still feel you got nothing to wear. One more, you buy it, 36 saris, 40 saris, but you still feel, or on the Netflix or for men, I've got nothing to play. You have got many things, you're feeling everything into that again. See, when you only have five saris and they become 10, did the number of saris increase? Not saris or clothes, for example. I'm giving clothes as a very, very logical understanding. So you already have a lot of clothes. So you have one extra today, but still you feel something is missing. So you still feel I got nothing to wear. If you have this feeling, if you don't have, okay, it's not for you. But if you have the feeling, th- the reason you have more, but still you feel you have nothing is because it's coming from space of lack. And those who are operating from the state of happiness or abundance or joy. Oh my God, I got so many to wear. Now what do I pick? Same wardrobe, same clothes, different perspective. I got so many to wear. Now what do I pick? Abundance, choice. That's why desire has a space. How many say I've got so many, so I don't know what to pick? So many of you, how many of you say I've got nothing to wear? Just think, don't answer. So this is where your thought starts to change. Now, here is where everything starts to become interesting. When you started to ask or feel, I don't have anything to wear, you feel it's not coming from space of abundance. You started to from now you all understand that it's not if something is not happening, it's happening. Then you have to ask yourself first question: where did this desire originate from? This is the first question you have to ask yourself. Where did this desire come? Is it coming from space of lack or is it coming from space of abundance? Okay. Now, what inspires a desire? What inspires you to have a desire? This is a very, very important question. So, how many of you have an understanding of Vedic wisdom? A little bit of Vedic wisdom. Okay. Now, whatever I'm going to say is going to be very, very interesting for people who have got no Vedic wisdom or who don't have that knowledge. So, we have got a concept called karma. Now, I think everybody know. Have heard this word karma. Not even Indians, even Westerners know the word karma. Okay. Now, what inspires a desire has got two planes. One is your karmic plane. Okay. Other thing is your your vasana plane. Okay. Now, no, not vasana. It is your varga plane. So, your karma, when I say karma, we have got four aspects. So, and we are talking about the origin of a desire. Okay. How does a desire originate? It is originating either from your prarabdha or your vasana. Now, when I say prarabdha, it's a karma basically. We have got four aspects of karma. The generalized aspect of karma is prarabdha. What do people say? My karma. That is the prarabdha. Now, prarabdha is one aspect of karma that talks about the consequence. So you say, my bad time, Kundli not nice, horoscope is going here and there, Mars is sitting somewhere, or Saturn is sitting here, or maybe sometimes people say, I don't know what bad I did, I didn't harm anybody, but why am I being hurt? So you have these questions. A lot of people have these questions. Now, to understand where are we coming from, Sanchita karma is one of the concept that we have to understand very clearly. Sanchita karma is all the accumulation. When you said what karma I did in the last life or no, what bad I did, whatever you have done till the last second, it is going into Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma is a space where you have accumulated everything. All that you have accumulated is staying it's just staying as a part of Sanchita karma. Okay, Sanchita, that is accumulated. So Sanchita karma is connected to the accumulation of all the karma that you have made. Now, karma is a act, is an action, activity, right? So, what activity I did that made me accumulate this karma? Now, all the accumulated acts along with the consequence of the action is the Sanchita karma. Okay, accumulated activities and the consequences are a part of the Sanchita karma. Now, we talk about Prarabdha. Prarabdha is purely consequence and consequence of the consequence. So, Prarabdha is what makes you realize your actions. Sometimes you do something good, you do something bad. How do you know good or bad happened if there's a reaction from the other side, right? Yes, accumulated acts of the previous birth also. Yes. Now, okay, when we talk, as we're talking about Sanchita karma, all the accumulations, all the accumulated acts of all our lives, okay, has a repository. Every life every life's actions will inspire or will seed for the next life. Okay, whatever you have done, whatever is pending, both of its consequences will be there. So sometimes action and inaction, both of it is a karma only. It's a part of the karma. Now, what is the important aspect here? Sanchita karma is already done. You cannot change. It's there already. But prarabdha is a consequence. You should have little control on prarabdha. But again, that depends on you. What is that? When I do something, usually if I have an act, if I'm doing something, if I'm in an act of what? Anything. Act of speaking, act of thinking, act of sleeping, act of dreaming, whatever I act, wherever is my act. If that act is inspired by a desire or a necessity, or is it influenced by something else? Whatever you act, for example, any action you take, when I say action, it's not just physical movement, it's even mental movement also. You're thinking. When you're thinking a particular aspect, particular subject, it is, or when you're doing something, if it is inspired by a necessity fulfillment, for example, eating, working to eat, working to earn to eat, working to earn to eat, okay, or thinking or sleeping, if it is a necessity, then it has got no karmic implications because necessities are to be fulfilled. That is the reason even thieves also act, will work, will plan, strategize because the thieves whose survival is only happening on stealing, to them it is a profession, right? And for example, we have got executioners, right? People who kill, no, who legally um, kill the culprits or criminals, executioners. They don't develop any kind of bad karma. It doesn't have any karmic implication. He is just doing his job. Okay. So any act that is helping you survive, actual survive, not your imposition of survival. For example, someone can survive with Samsung 10,000 phone, but someone need iPhone 17 only to survive. Otherwise, they feel they're wasted. So Sanchita karma is having all the accumulation. Now, Prarabdha is the space where the consequence of all the accumulation is seen. And this will lead you to the Kriyamana karma that I'm talking about. Kriyamana karma is your act, whatever thing you do. Now, Kriyamana karma, Kriya is not just act, it's a thinking, it's a speaking, it's a movement, it's an action. Whatever you say, whatever you do, whatever you feel, whatever you think, everything is an aspect of Kriyaman karma in the moment. Kriyaman karma is whatever you do in this moment, right? So, anything and everything that you do in this moment, consciously and actively, that is adding to the Kriyamana karma. The only karma that you have in hand is Kriyamana karma. And there's one more aspect of karma called Agami. Agami karma is what is going to happen tomorrow, which is yet to come. Maybe that is the result of this life's action or past life action. We don't know. The consequence of whatever that is yet to come is Agami. So you have little control on Prarabdha, little control on Agami. But highest form of control you have got only on Kriyaman Karma. That is whatever you have to do right now. Only control, only power you have is only in the moment. That is Kriyaman Karma in this moment, whatever act you have. Now, Prarabdha has got little control. Agami, no control or maybe little control. But what ideal power you have is Kriyaman Karma, that is this moment. Making sense, everybody, or is it boring? Right? Now, basic human tendency is always either to think of the past or think of the future. So, how many of you agree that most of the time that you think of is about the future or past? Future or past? Even when you're thinking of, okay, we have got some Medhavis here, including me. I think of what I should do today. I think of what I should do now. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? अब क्या करो? How many of you are in this state? You don't think of the past, you don't think of the future, you think what you should do now. How many of you are in this stage? Right? Okay. So the only thing that you have in your hand, in your control is to what to do now. Right? Kriyaman karma. And that also we are losing by thinking only. What to do, what to do, what to do. Here is how it is very, very interesting, or the power or the control that we have starts here. Now, why are you in the state where you don't know what to do? Okay. So when we talk about the Kriyaman karma, it is influenced by few things. Kriyaman karma is influenced by certain things. Now, what is it influenced with? The Arishad Vargas or the Vasanas? Have you heard these two words, Arishad Vargas and Vasanas? Hmm. The Arishad Vargas or the six vices. Next are the Vasanas are the tendencies that we carry from the past or past lives. The tendencies, why I behave, how I behaved, is because of the Vasana. Vasana is the influence that you carry from the past life. And the influence that you carry from this life is also part of the vasanas, but not completely a vasana, but it is connected to the vasana. So, by understanding this, you have to come to a standpoint where it says, the only thing I have in my life that I can do is whatever I can do in this moment, right? You only have this second to live. We don't know what will happen the next second, and whatever happened in the previous second is not in our control. But all we have that in our control is our own moment, the moment that we are listening, the moment we are living in this moment. Okay, the time frame that you're living in this second is already having control. But if this 1 second that is there with you to live, if that is influenced by something else, where are you living in yourself? Are you really living, or are you just being followed by something else, or are you driven by something else? Understanding this question, you only have 1 second to live, and that 1 second is also not in your control. It is controlled by something else. What are these something else? Arshad Vargas or your vasanas. If these two are only taking over, then are we living? That's the question. Before that, okay, sir, what are Arshad Vargas and what are vasanas? The Arishad Vargas are the six enemies that our ancestors have given it to us. They gave the names. Now, what are these? These are six fundamental enemies a person would have. What are they? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya. Kama. Kamam here is lust. It is not libido, it is lust. So, lust is the thirst to have more and more. You are never satisfied, you want more. It's connected to the sexual need. Sexual need is a necessity, but sexual want, that's a desire. So, you are never satisfied with whatever you have, and you want more and more in terms of lust, in terms of the sexuality, sexual fulfillment, and also the power. So, if this is not addressed, you always want, your desires are always more. Always, you have a lot of desires, lot of desires. Desires in anything actually. So much of desires is too much of karma. Now, if a person has got a lot of desires and does not feel, and is not feeling fulfilled, then this is takwe. No matter how much you give, for that person is always less. Because they need to have the desires fulfilled so big, no? Now, desire is becoming a necessity. Psychologically, you are training your brain. What is necessary? Roti kapda makan. अगर वो नहीं रहता है, if I don't have them, I cannot survive. I cannot live. So that's the programming, that's the condition you give to your brain by saying I need this, but you can live without it. So you're confusing the brain, and that affects your peace of mind. Now, this lack is the feeling of lack is coming from excess of karma, excess of desire. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, next is Krodha. Second Arshad Varga is second. The Varga is Krodha. Krodha is anger. Anger, hate, both comes under Krodha. Now, where is this anger coming from? Is it coming from fear? Is it coming out of helplessness? Is it coming out of desperation? Where is this anger coming from? Very, very important to understand, because you might have anger issues, but what is triggering the anger is very, very important, no? For you to know where is this anger coming from. Or else what happens is you are treating the wrong root. The root of anger is fear, but you are working on just anger. Now what happens? Fear is going to be there. This fear gave this anger. Now how can fear turn into anger? For example, your child is running onto the street and you saw a vehicle approaching. What happens? You get so aggressive that you shout at the kid and also the other person, right? So most of our fears come from most of our anger comes from fear only. Fear of losing, fear of uh, the heartbreak, or fear of separation, fear of isolation. So most of our desires are originating from fears only. What if people laugh at me? You're scared of people laughing at you, right? And then you're angry when people are laughing at you. So the desire is what? People should not laugh at you. That is a desire. But where is it inspired from? How many of us have got clarity of our desires? Where is it coming from? So one premise that we check is our vasanas. Is it coming from lack or abundance? And vasanas. And then Arshad Vargas. If you understand your desire is coming from only anger, for example, desire could be hurting somebody who hurt you. That's a desire, no? Taking revenge, proving a point. I want to prove this to somebody. I am this. So that's a desire. How many of you have these desires? That I want to prove something to somebody. Be honest, okay? Don't have to tell to me. Be honest to yourself. Or you have a desire because you are um because you're angry. Okay, how many of us have any desire that is originating from the space to prove to somebody? I have to prove it to myself. I have to prove it to somebody. If any desire that is coming from the point, from space, that I have to prove, where is it coming from? It is lack or abundance? Lack, right? Proving to somebody is coming from lack. Proving to yourself is also coming from lack. Why should you prove? Why should you prove? Why should you have to prove? Right? So this is how we are calibrating our thoughts. So every desire is coming from Arshad Vargas. You have to check, is it coming from excessive need for the desire to fulfill? Is it coming from karma? If it's not coming, you're sure it's not coming from karma. Is it coming from krodha? Krodha is anger or hate or aggression as a reaction. Again, if are they coming from a tool, usage of anger as a tool, or are they coming from a space of fear? Because aggressive manifestation of fear is anger. If it is not kama krodha, next is what? Lobha. Now what is lobha? Miserliness, conjuicy. That is again coming from pure lack. No matter how much it is there, you don't feel it enough. You don't want to spend, you are stingy. You always think of the bad day or the wrong day or the rainy day. How many of us have this thing? You always focus on the rainy day. Hey, it's not for today. ఇవాళ కోసం కాదు రేపటి గురించి. It's for tomorrow. It's for tomorrow. How many of us do this thing? That you always think of The rainy day. You always think of the day where you have nothing and you operate from that frequency. You are happily fulfilled today, but you think of what if it goes wrong tomorrow, and you always every decision is taken from that space. You're not or you're thinking from the space of what if it doesn't exist, what if it doesn't happen. If you're thinking from that space, how many of you do it? Right. So when someone is operating from that space, exactly. When you're operating from that space, you're operating from the space of miserliness, conjusi, podupu, four-sightedness. We give this disguise. We want to sugarcoat and we want to make it sound less bad. But the point is, we are operating from that space only. We have to be very clear. Right? Honestly, you don't really have to think of what happens 20 years later or 5 years later, 10 years later. But if you do anything and everything only for that to 20 years later day only, then you're operating not in this moment. You're focusing on Agami, but not believing in whatever you wanted to do today in yourself. If you believe that I can do something better for tomorrow and you're doing only that today, do you really have to worry about what happens tomorrow, what happens 20 years down the line? आज का काम आज के लिए सही करे तो कल के बारे में क्यों सोचें? No matter how logical it seems to us, because this fear is instilled into us. What if something goes wrong? What if you have got nobody to help or take care of you? These thoughts are making you feel what if, or your mind is only going into that mode of what if, what if, what if, what if, what if. Right? Making sense? So, is your desire coming from lobha? If your desire is coming from lobha, how do you know? It's coming from the lack of it in the future. The next important space is moha, attachment or infatuation, being carried away. Hmm. Nowadays, everything that is trending on Instagram is something that we should buy, we should have, or we should do. Instagram trends are deciding the future of our youth. What is trending on Instagram is something that we should do. For some time it was startups, for उसके बाद dalgona coffee or टमक टमक, right? Having a passion, having a purpose, having some entertainment are fine. But your passion and purpose is only to be entertained or to entertain others. That is moha. You want that attention. You want the attraction. Whatever is attractive, you're falling for it. So if you're falling for everything that is beautiful, that is good, no, you'll be falling, will not go up. You'll not move forward. Okay, I'm living in the moment. Or is it cheap dopamine? This is very, very important for you to understand. Are you falling? If you're falling for everything that is interesting, everything that is looking good, easy, and all of that, then what is it happening? You are running behind cheap dopamine. So that is moha. So if your desire is coming from moha, okay. That is the Arshad Varga that is inspiring this desire. Or if it is not moha, if the desire is coming from mada, now mada is pride, इज्जत का सवाल, परंपरा, अनुशासन और प्रतिष्ठा. If your desire is coming from the space of mada, pride, ego, you should be aware. Because the more the people who have got this revenge mode, or I prove the point mode, are the ones they are driven by ego. Now, is ego bad? No. Ego will also set right boundaries, but your boundaries are bigger than anybody else, than you. Then that's a problem. If I have got no boundaries, if I feel everybody is my property, that's also pride, oppression. Sometimes people say, "Arey, I'm useless, I'm nothing." The moment it is coming from I is ego. This is very, very important for you to know. If even submissive ego is also a problem. You might say, "I'm not aggressive." Okay, so what? How did it help? When ego is also coming from submissiveness, or ego is escalated to submissiveness, that's also a problem. Why? Because if submission is working for you and you're okay with it naturally, then that is fine. But you're not okay with it, that's the problem. You complain about it. So complaints are usually about themselves, right? मुझे ये अच्छा नहीं लगा, मुझे वो अच्छा नहीं लगा, I don't like this, I didn't like this. వాడు అలా అంటాడు, అనొచ్చా వాడు అలాగా, ఇలా చేయొచ్చా వాడు. When you have this kind of um, complaints, and 90% of the desires are coming from the complaints only. How many of you have noticed it? Now complaint is like, మా మామ అంతే అంటాడు, మా మామకు చెప్పాలి. ఆ రోజు మా మామ ఇట్లా అన్నాడు, మా అత్త ఇట్లా అంది, మా నాయన ఇట్లా అన్నాడు, మా తాత ఇట్లా అన్నాడు. You have this right. उसने ये बोला, मेरे चाचा ने ये बोला, जीजू ने ये बोला, इसीलिए मुझे करना है. So that's a complaint. वो कैसा बोल सकता है? Had if you were like, okay चलो तो बोल ही दिया ना, तो क्या? That day itself, how much free you would have gotten? How many of you would have actually be happy with your own selves, with your own lives? काश किसने कुछ ना बोले. If nobody said something, did something. నేను ఎంత పేషెంట్గా ఉంటాను, అయినా నాతో ఇలానే ఉంటారు. I'm so patient, but still people are taking advantage of my patience. People are testing my patience. Even that is a problem. If that becomes like a complaint. So that's coming from the complaints that we have is coming basically from the mother. Next comes Matsarya. Matsarya is jealousy, enviousness. In other words, comparison. शर्मा जी का बेटा ये किया, शर्मा जी का बेटा वो किया, पड़ोस की बेटी ये किया, हो गया. अगेन आवर डिजायर्स आर कमिंग फ्रॉम मात्सर्य, కంపారిజన్. इसके पास है तो मुझे भी, मेरे पास भी होना है. వాడి దగ్గర ఉంటే నా దగ్గర ఇంకా ఉండాలి. వాడు 10,000 పెట్టి ఫోన్ తీసిన 15,000 తీస్తా. రైట్? దట్ కంపారిజన్ ఈస్ గివింగ్ యూ మాత్సర్య. I was giving mother, sorry, I will prove, I will buy. Why? Because you have so much of attachment, moha towards your own self, to your own pride. Then comes deepest desire to fulfill this no matter what. If that happens, mada increase. If that is not happening, your krodha increases. You become angry and frustrated. No matter how much good I do, I'm not getting anything. He did nothing, but he got everything. Life is unfair, right? That will take into lobha, lack, extreme lack. Nobody loves me. God is not there. దేవుడే కనుకుంటే నేనే పతివ్రతను అయితే. So you go to that mode, right? How many of you have seen this cycle in our lives, or with you, or with others also around you? How many of you have seen this cycle? Because somebody had something that you don't have, that's where everything starts. And are you seeing the intertwining of how every Arshad Varga is connected? How does it start and where will it go? right? It's very common cycle for a lot of people, including me. That's very common cycle. Why? Because somehow we've been trained from the childhood that you have to look at them, look at others, and do like them or do better than them. Comparison start. When comparison is not getting fulfilled, there's anger on you. So you learned how to be angry or why to be angry because your parents could not know, don't know how to express their emotion or express their intent. How many of you felt comparison from childhood? Yes. Okay, how many of you felt like your parents have spoiled you by comparing you with others, right? If there's no comparison, no, everybody would have been successful in their life. Because of the comparison, you're trying to fight something that you actually don't have to do. You are compelled to do many things that you are not willing to do just because of comparison. Maybe if you have got encouraging parents and they're like, okay, chalo do water, just simran chai, if they're like that, then that is fine. But if they have compared you and said, iske jaisa, uske jaisa, and that became your purpose. Your parents' purpose became your purpose. Now, how many of you watch these movies where they say, no, నేనైనా కలెక్టర్ కాలేదు నా కొడుకే నవ్వాలి, right? Parents have this. I didn't do this, but my children should do it. I tried to become a doctor, but I could not because of my family's positions, conditions. So you have to become a doctor. Now, child's purpose has become your father's purpose. If they are naturally aligned, fine. If they're not aligned, just imagine the turmoil that child would go through and parent will go through. Both will go through, right? Maybe sometimes you don't have a dream or purpose all by yourself, but as you evolve, you feel you get it. Exactly. Yes. Very true, Pratyusha. So, if your desire is coming from unshared Vargas, now you know what to do, right? At least partially. How many of you felt today you have learned something that you can make it to use? Okay, how many of you slept out of boredom? Hmm. You slept, Pratyusha. Thank you. Hmm. All right.
I thought you were asking in general sense, and I answered that question. I am active in the classes once I join.
Okay. Right. Okay. Cool. So today's homework is ha. Wonderful. So yeah, this is very, very important to know. From today or today, after this, soon after the class, I want you to write three desires that you wanted to fulfill and write where are they coming from. Be honest because this is a coaching program. I'm not lecturing you and I'm no after the lecture, Are Vamsi sir, enta baga chepparu. No, I don't want that. Okay. I want you all to use this 15 days to change your life, change your thoughts, change your complete, the way you think. Okay. Every action activity that I give as a part of the homework from today is expanding into next day's learning. Okay. It's like a journey of 15 days. So everything is interconnected. So everybody do this homework. Okay. Someone post this in the group also to for the homework part as a text. I'm sharing the recording. I also give it, but someone post it as a thing after this. First question is write a list of three desires that you have from very, very long time, short term, mid term, long term. Or if you have lot of energy, write six, write 10. Three short term, three mid term, and three long term, 9 or 10. You can write, but three is important. And C are the influenced by the Arshad Vargas. The Vasanas concept we'll have a discussion tomorrow. Very deep discussion on Vasanas tomorrow. But today, let us identify which Varga in Arshad Vargas, what inspired you to have these three desires. What Vargas? If it is only one Varga, fine. If it is a multiple combination, write it. I want you to do a lot of research on this, on your top three desires that you have. Where is it coming from? Again, I'm telling you, whatever answer that comes to your mind, we are not judging you. We are not trying to show that is right or wrong. No. Okay, it's a understanding on where did your desire come from, so that when you work on it you will be able to remove it fully and completely. Okay, understood that? Yes, no, maybe. The top three desires that came to your mind is what you write, and then where did they come from, which Arshad Vargas of this Arshad Vargas which inspired this thing. Yeah, pretty sure you can post it in the group after the class is done, or after I post the recording you post these questions. Okay, so today we are learning to dissect every desire that we have, so that we are removing the negative factors that is inspiring our desire. Once the negative factors are removed, that is when you will be able to manifest something good and great for you. Because anything negative aspect is there, that's going to get you into a lack. So that is the reason you don't feel fulfilled. So I'll explain this journey as you go forward. So there's a lot to talk, there's a lot to explain. This 15 hours each day, I mean 15 hours of the entire week is not sufficient for me to teach the 30 years of my learning. Okay, so I'm going to condense everything to give it to you the best parts. And everybody watching this recording and being in this part, do this homework, because these homeworks expand to the next day's work. That's how everything gets expanded to the next day, next day, next day. So by end of the 15th day, you will be a different person only when you do this exercise. If you're not doing the exercise, don't join tomorrow. Sorry to say this, but very, very important. Do this homework pakka. Okay? Why? Because this will, if you do this homework only, you feel connected to the next chapter, next session, next chapter. Huh? It's like everything's expanding into expanding. It's not like short stories. It's like a novel. So you have to go through every chapter, right? So what happens if you don't do, after 2 days you feel disinterested because you feel disconnected. Because everybody will have something to say, you have nothing to say. Now you become the last venture, digging your head down. So don't do that. Everybody do the homework. And also one mandatory thing from today, everybody maintain a new notebook. Whatever you have written now, it's fine. I had to put in a group, but I forgot. We are doing journaling also. There's a lot of journaling activity from um, Wednesday. From Wednesday to 14, day 14. We have a lot of journaling work there. Okay, so everybody carry journals. Okay, have a new book, new pen, and write whatever aha moments you have got in this class. From tomorrow, you write in you put a heading in the school. We write down say class work, homework. Okay, class work, and then you write your salient points. I'll also give you the manual after this class. This manual also you do it. There's some action activity that is there, and some concepts what I missed today will go to next day. Some points I'll just bring it on the previous day itself. Okay, so you can have that kind of mix and match. Don't really go like hard white textbook approach. Oddu. Okay, just go with the exercise that I give. I am going to post the chapter synopsis and also today's recording as a voice note and also text message, and also I'll upload it on YouTube for you. So we have got how many people here? 23, including me. So 22 email addresses I should have within next 5 minutes, so that I'll be able to upload the entire class recording and given it to you via YouTube link. Only those who gave me the email addresses will have access to the recordings. So if I have 22 email addresses, don't post it here, post it in the WhatsApp group. Not here, in the WhatsApp group, please. Or if you're not feeling safe to say no, send it to WhatsApp group, you can send it to me personally. Okay? So we'll have a separate folder also. I'll give the Google Drive access for all the recordings, that will be there also if you wanted to have the recording style. But mostly this recording will be given to you via YouTube only. Okay. And I'll give you the homeworks, and everybody do the homework sincerely. As see, you guys are here because you're investing your time, energy, and money. It is not, if you don't put it into practice, these 15 days of 15 hours of time that you spend is going to be going into the drain only for you. It doesn't work much for you, because coaching is all about doing, not thinking, not internalizing and conceptualization. No, it's not that. If you just conceptualize, if you internalize and you feel, fine. But if you don't do the act, it stays in the mind only. You're not going to put it into practice. If it is not getting into action, you don't get the result. Right? How many of you got results without action? Kriyaman karma. So today's homework is to write all the three desires and go backtrace it. What inspired you to have this desire? What inspired you to have this desire? Just backtrace till you get to a point where you can see everything clearly. Okay? Any questions or doubts? Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of this program. So yeah, all those who have made the energy exchange, wonderful. Who are yet to make the energy exchange, pay something that you can today and have this thought in your mind. By end of this 15th day, I'm going to manifest the entire course fee myself. Somehow you get the money and you can pay it to the end of the program. But everybody makes some contribution that you can do today, so that you are marking your gratitude towards the lessons that you have learned. Okay. So I'll see you all tomorrow, and all the people who have written your learnings from today's class. The learnings you can post it in the group for others. Okay. But don't post your homework in the group, because you might have certain personal things which others might not want to know. So the homework that asks the desires, the three desires that you have, where is it coming from? Again, I'm telling you guys, don't try to look cool and smooth, nice when you're writing this. For example, you might have got some shadow desires. Shadow desires could be something dark. So focus on that also, because focus on glory is fine. When you have one dark desire, whatever that could be, I don't want to mention. When it's a darkest desire or deepest desire that is coming from a bad space, don't try to brush it off. Try to work on that. Sit with that more, because the dark desires are coming from a very, very bad space that we understand tomorrow. Again, bad space is not a comparison, or it's not a, sorry, it's not a judgmental space, but it's come from the kind of energy it comes from. Okay. So work on the desires. When you're working on the desires, don't talk about car, bike, house, job. No, basic things, yes, it's a necessity, but go with the deepest desires. Where are they coming from? If you have multiple, right, sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. I know it's a working day. A lot of people are going to work, but I want to take 1 hour, 1.5 hour, dedicate it to this work. So tomorrow you're gonna have a wonderful learning, because it's connected to vasanas. That's why you get more and more understanding. Okay. So today's homework, I'm repeating it. Write three desires and coming from which varga. Go back trace. Have multiple desires, multiple stories to every desire you have it. Write all of it. Make multiple points of it, so you can maintain it like a journal. Three desires, where are they coming from? Each desire. And in that, it would be great if you have got one shadow, one shady desire that you have, very darkest desire that you have. If you have one, mention that and backtrace it. It goes very well. It is very, very helpful. So desire is desire. Okay. And then all of your learnings, whatever you have learned in this class, your personalized learnings, put it in the group. You are inspiring others, and some people can take 1 point from others. You can exchange your points also. And this WhatsApp group, it is going to be a sacred space. No self promotions, everybody. No unwanted messages. No good morning, no good night. Nothing is needed. Okay, everybody will have a good and bad nights. We cannot change it. Okay, so don't do any of that. Just post your learnings. If you have gotten something new from other people's learning, you can appreciate it. You can just talk about that only. Okay. So, for example, if I have Soumya ma'am has posted something and Krishnapriya liked something, you can say, Soumya ma'am, thank you for posting this. I have learned this. You can do that. You can do this all these 15 days. Once you have learned all of this, no, I want to train people to do this for yourself. Okay, you can do this such a manifestation code. I will make it like a course and I give it to you. You are learning it. Then you can become trainers to teach it to others. How many of you would want to teach it to others? Teach whatever you have learned to others. Again, don't think of the people that you hate. You don't want them to learn this, no? So for those who wanted to apply and learn it, and I'm going to teach it to them also. So maintain the hygiene here, do the homework properly. Only when you do properly, you will be able to teach it to others properly. Because your learnings that you have is going to help you. That's going to be with you. Okay? Any questions or doubts? Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Let us connect tomorrow. Again, homework is very, very important. Three desires and where did they come from? And include one dark desire. Next is posting your learnings in the group. Okay. Third important thing, energy exchange. I am talking about energy exchange openly because I'll explain it on day 6 or day 7. Why? Whatever you can, you just pay. Now, if you haven't, if you have paid, okay, wonderful. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Atma Namaste, stay blessed. We'll see you tomorrow.